Looking for the best Amazon advertising automation tool in June 2025? You've come to the right place. We're going to have a look at all the tools out there, and especially the ones that focus on automation. All right, believe it or not, we're already in June 2025 and AI is heating up. So of course, we also want to look at automation and PPC automation in particular. If you're anything like me, then you want to automate as much as possible because let's face it, not all tasks are very fun when it comes to Amazon ads. I personally really liked strategizing behind trying to rank for certain keywords, trying to decide which keywords to really go after. But the actual bid management, especially, that's where you want to use automation tools in general. I know some of you don't, but I'm pretty sure most of you do. And so today's video, where we use the automation scoring system to look at which tools provide these features over here, these green automation features, which have as many of those as possible and do it in the best possible way to see who gets the most points and who ends up the best automation tool in June 2025. I also do give some points for a few other areas that you cannot really automate yet, or that you still need despite using these automations, such as bulk campaign creation, right? And maybe some analytics, or actually simply adding and pausing individual ASINs. That could be important as well. And a couple of analytics you still want to have in that Amazon Ads software. Okay, so I will be speaking about some of these features that I feel are important for automation tools in this video, but won't try to extend it too long. So without further ado, let me just move up the table, right, and see who is, let's say, in the top 40 or so. And as usual, I have to make the point, these are not bad tools just because they're at the bottom of this particular table and scoring system. It's just that their focus is somewhere else. Sometimes it's not even on Amazon Ads, or if they are kind of an Amazon Ads tool, their focus is maybe not on automation, but analytics or manual management. Okay, so let's move into the top 35, into the top 30. Right, okay, now we have a bit of a jump here from 56 points to 73 points, which is, let's say, the top 25. Okay, so this is now getting a bit more serious with tools that are really going to help you a lot when it comes to Amazon Ads automation, right? And now we are getting into the top 15. Actually, I'm a bit surprised that AdLabs is also in this scoring system so high. Right, they are actually more known to be, very good for you when it comes to manual management and analytics, but they do have a couple of automation features already. One of them being, I believe, day parting, and some other things that you can already automate. So, they do offer that if that is of interest, but so far not their focus, and there are other tools. To be precise, more or less 14 more tools that have it more in their focus so far. Right? We have Perpetua, of course, a big name. Atom 11 sneaking up there recently. Now we are getting into the top 10. SellerMate, you might remember from the previous video, the new number 1 in the starter brand scoring system. Also relatively high in this scoring system, in the top 10 already. Bidex, Solozo, M19, AI Hello, and Quartile, the first one in the top 5. But before I show you the rest of the tools, let me just quickly talk about one or two features that I feel are, important, and maybe that I haven't mentioned too often before. So one of the columns here is what I call the smart flexible goal setting. Okay, and this is obviously especially for this kind of automation tool extremely important because that's the main thing you're doing to affect your outcome. You're not going in there and changing bids yourself. You're giving your campaigns or ad groups or even keywords, and that's one of the flexibilities I'm looking for, different goals. Okay. And the other thing you might want to be able to do is not just to set an ACoS goal, but also a spend target, right? That's for especially bigger brands that simply want to, spend the money that they have and then kind of have the ACoS goal as a secondary target. So yeah, these are things I'm looking for. And as you'll see, also the top 5 do that in a very good way. Then we have bulk goals, edits. Of course, the more campaigns and the more products you have, you want to be able to easily, edit those goals, right? For example, your product is going out of stock, and so you might want to reduce all your ACoS goals by minus whatever 50%, just so that you invertibly reduce your bids because it has to reach that new lower goal. Okay. What else? Negative targets. I don't give it that many points actually if they have that, just 2 if they have a yes, right? So that's one of the areas that I don't typically recommend to use automation for, at least not the complete automation, right? There are tools that only kind of prepare the negative keywords for you, but you still have to accept them. So that is probably the best way to do it at the moment. And what I'm also, of course, looking for is that they prepare negative phrase keywords for you, ideally, or if they let you not just negate certain keywords in their source campaign, right? If you know a certain keyword is simply not relevant to your product, you don't need to let it assemble clicks in all your other, research or phrase or broad or whatever campaigns that may trigger that search term. You can also set it to negative in those campaigns immediately. And if you do use that kind of automation to completely set it to negative, not just with you accepting it, then be sure to set a really high, no orders rule, not just the typical, I don't know what they say in all these Twitter and LinkedIn posts, 20 clicks or whatever. Probably I would go much higher. It obviously depends on the product's conversion rate. I would probably go for something at least 3 times considering that conversion rate. So if the conversion rate is 10%, right, you usually get 1 order every 10 clicks. I would take that times 3 and negate something every 30 clicks, if at all, right? So like I said, I'm not a fan of negation automation. So I would probably, just set some kind of rule, maybe in that case only 2x the conversion rate factor. So maybe after 20 clicks, I would let myself be recommended to negate something. Or earlier, if you're doing it the recommendation way, obviously you can do it earlier to have those keywords recommended, and you can go through all of them. It depends how many products and campaigns you have and how much work that would be, but yeah. Okay, what else can I mention in the automation section? Well, visibility, that is a big thing, right? That is something obviously that all of you have the goal, right? Especially for your ranking campaigns where you want to automate your bids based on your organic visibility, right? Some of you might only want to base it on your paid visibility, and that is actually something that more tools have enabled so far, to basically consider the paid impression share. And it is more difficult to consider the organic, rankings or share of voice. And I believe the number 2 tool is actually one of the only tools that has that so far, to consider the organic share of voice, or the total share of voice even, right? Paid and organic. So that is something that I really look for. This has 5 points for a yes. And yeah, there's a lot of other things that ideally it can consider, be it inventory levels or even your price changing, which obviously changes pretty much everything. It changes your break-even ACoS, and yeah, the tool should know about that. No tool yet, I believe, that is somehow considering the sales market share. That is next level data, right? That is very difficult to obtain. Although, if you checked one of my previous videos, it should now become possible for many of these tools, because search query performance data is now available in the API, and with that also click shares and purchase shares, so you can really go, try to be the dominant player for certain keywords with automation. Hopefully soon, more yeses and okays and goods and maybe supers in this column. Okay, and for those of you who were watching very closely, I actually just teased the top 5 tools there, so I can just show them to you now officially anyway. The top 5 in June 2026 in the automation scoring system, the best Amazon ads automation tools, starting with Xnurta, PackView, no surprise there, Trellis, also no surprise there, and AdBrew, who has also been sneaking up there recently in recent months. Not a surprise anymore, at least if you have been following this channel. Right, so these are all great options, right? Trellis probably pricing wise a bit more attractive, and that is actually my preference because they don't focus on the custom rules but rather on the goal driven bid management, right? So that a very attractive offer, but like I said, for those of you that are more, going after control and really want to know what's happening and really only want the tool to do things that you set up in your rules, then of course AdBrew at the moment pretty much clearly the leader in the automation scoring system. So congratulations once again to AdBrew and Trellis, and of course the rest of the top 5 and 10, I would say, all great tools, and the points difference is really not that big really. So all very useful tools. You probably have to test 2 or 3 of them to see if the interface fits you, if you find these features to be easy to use, if you actually find the features easily. So that is it for the automation system, scoring system. In the next month, I'm probably going to show you the manual management scoring system for all of you who prefer that way still. And now I really need something to drink, Jesus. But that's the next scoring system I'm going to show you, and probably going to also give you a little update to the profit trackers overview in the coming weeks. So if that was helpful, I would of course appreciate a like and comment, and any question you have perhaps about any of these columns, let me know below. That helps me in the algorithm and helps me push forward this project to try and bring full transparency in the Amazon software market, which hopefully should help all of us kind of help push all these tools to better and more features, and maybe also to lower pricing. So help me out and stick around the channel for these upcoming overviews and rankings. And really appreciate you watching until here. See you and have a great day. Let me thank you for watching this video and hopefully giving it a thumbs up. You've come this far and you deserve to be rewarded. If you feel like you're not getting the most out of your ads yet, that may just be because of free fundamental pieces of knowledge that you're still missing. Free secrets so well kept by the very top Amazon ads agencies that you won't find a single public blog post about them. I've helped hundreds of Amazon sellers succeed since 2016, and today I want to invite you to the other side. I want to let you in on these secrets. Simply click on the link below and let me send them to you right now.